You have probably blown out candles on a birthday cake. You have made a wish. You have eaten a slice. It feels like something people have always done. But here is a question most people never ask. Why cake? Why candles? And why do we make a wish before blowing them out? The answer takes us back more than 2,000 years, to ancient Greece, to a goddess of the moon, and to a round cake that glowed like the night sky. Let us go back to the beginning. The story begins with the ancient Greeks and their worship of Artemis. She was the goddess of the moon, of hunting, and of childbirth. The Greeks honored her with many festivals throughout the year. During one festival, the Greeks baked special cakes. These cakes were round, like the full moon. They were made from dough, honey, and sesame seeds. The Greeks placed lit candles on top of these cakes so they would shine like the moon. This was not a party. It was a religious offering. The round shape represented the moon itself. The candles represented the stars and moonlight. The rising smoke from the candles was believed to carry prayers and wishes up to the gods. This is where our tradition of making a wish comes from. The Greeks believed that if you made a wish and the smoke rose to the heavens, the gods would hear you. The name for this ceremonial cake was ammilos. It is described as a sweet made from dough, honey, and sesame seeds, offered to Artemis during her festival called the Mounikhia. The cake was presented between two burning torches, representing the setting sun and the rising sun, with the round cake of the moon in between. This was the earliest known connection between a round cake, candles, and the act of making a wish. Now, let us move forward in time. The ancient Egyptians also had a tradition related to birthdays. Egyptian pharaohs believed that when they were crowned, they became gods. Their coronation day was considered their birth as a divine being, and they celebrated with large feasts. Cakes were part of these celebrations. The Persians are credited with baking the first cakes for birthdays. They made round cakes using flour, cheese, and honey. These cakes were prepared only for royalty and wealthy families. Common people could not afford them. The Persians placed candles on the cakes because they believed that the flame represented the sacred light of the gods. The smoke rising from the candles carried their prayers directly to heaven. The Romans also adopted many Greek customs. They began celebrating birthdays with sweetened bread and cakes. For the Romans, the 50th birthday was especially important. If you reached the age of 50, you received a special cake made with wheat flour, honey, cheese, and olive oil. For the Romans, cake was not just sacred. It was also a sign of status. The richer the ingredients, the higher your standing in society. But it was in Germany, during the 1700s, that the birthday cake as we know it today truly took shape. The Germans developed a tradition called Kinderfest, which means children's festival. Parents would bake a cake for their child's birthday. They placed candles on top. One candle for each year of the child's life, plus one extra candle for good luck. The candles were not blown out right away. In early German tradition, the candles were lit in the morning and allowed to burn all day long. This was believed to protect the child from evil spirits. The German word for candle is Lebenslicht, which means light of life. Keeping the candle burning was a way of keeping the child safe. Only after the evening meal was finished would the child blow out the candles. The smoke from the extinguished flames was thought to carry wishes up to heaven. This combined the ancient Greek idea of smoke carrying prayers with a new German tradition of protecting children on their birthdays. The German tradition included a specific ritual. Each family member would take turns lighting a candle while saying a kind word or blessing for the child. The child would then try to blow out each candle individually. If they succeeded in one breath, it was considered a good omen for the year ahead. The Industrial Revolution made birthday cakes available to everyone. Before the 1800s, sugar, butter, and ovens were expensive. Only wealthy families could afford cakes. But as manufacturing improved, ingredients became cheaper. Ovens became common in homes. The birthday cake was no longer a luxury for the rich. It became a tradition that any family could enjoy. By the early 1900s, the birthday cake tradition had spread across Europe and to America. The song Happy Birthday to You was written in 1912 based on an 1893 melody called Good Morning to All by two sisters from Kentucky named Patty and Mildred Hill. The song made the cake-cutting moment even more special. The first written record of blowing out candles in the way we do today comes from Switzerland in 1881. A folklore journal described a birthday cake with lighted candles corresponding to each year of life. The birthday person was required to blow out each candle individually. Over time, the tradition simplified. People began trying to blow out all the candles in one breath. This was believed to make the wish come true. The act became a moment of hope, celebration, and connection. There is also a Danish birthday tradition that is worth mentioning. In Denmark, the birthday child stands under a chair while a cake with candles is brought out. After blowing out the candles, the guests shout hurrah, and each one approaches to shake the child's hand. In a different Danish custom, the birthday child is lifted up and down on the chair for each year of their life. In Argentina and other Latin American countries, the birthday person is gently pulled by the earlobe for each year. This is called cortando la torta and is done while the cake is brought out. So the next time you see a birthday cake with candles, remember the story. It began in ancient Greece, with round honey cakes offered to Artemis, the moon goddess. It spread to Egypt and Persia, where cakes were reserved for royalty. It continued with the Romans, who made cake a symbol of status. It evolved in Germany, where families used candles to protect their children. And it spread around the world, with each culture adding its own special touches. That is why we celebrate birthdays with cake.